Welcome to This Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe, from announcements made by DE that don't necessarily warrant their own videos to community fan art, posts, and updates. So without further ado, let's go over D's announcements and news from the 7th of April to the 14th. Starting this week's episode off, we had Devstream 109. Now, starting it off inside the Devstream, we had a preview of Vauban Deluxe's concept art, which we already saw, but we now have a photo or an image at what his deluxe skin will look like. We then had a preview of Tennogen Round 12, which will contain the Chromathyris skin, the Chromagrax skin, the Loki Ivara skin, the Mag Pharaoh, Mesa Marlet, Nyx Aurelia, Rhino Scarab, and the Volt Vulgursa skin. As for helmets, it will only be coming with the Gara Silka helmet, and the Syndanas that will be coming will be the Axura, the Despot, the Dub Volpi, the Mithra, Masuzu, and Sovereign. There'll also be a weapon skin, and that will be the Lympharis polearm skin. After the Tennogen round, they showed off a vehicle that will be coming with the Venus landscape. They then showed off Khora. Now, she'll no longer be tied to the damage system, and according to the stream, will now have the option to switch between damage, offensive, and healing, and will also arrive with a reworked 4th ability, where instead of the Exalted Whip that they showed off in a previous dev stream, it will now be a AoE crowd control ability that upon casting will emit chains in a dome area, and any enemy that is caught within the dome or walks inside the dome after it's been casted will instantly be stunned and locked into position. Now, we will be getting Khora and her weapons sometime this week, as they did post a little workshop and hype site up for those that are curious. And her weapons will be the dart gun and the dual swords. Once again, that will be arriving either this week or next week, depending on if they can get it out. Now, arriving alongside Khora will be Sanctuary Onslaught, which is now the current name of the Onslaught game mode, which was previously Void Onslaught. Now, it has nothing to do with Dark Sectors anymore, and is now its own game mode. It will now be a simulated arcade experience, which according to Scott is not for hard endurance runs, but is more or less for players that want to get their focus farming done quickly, as there will be a bit of time before each 45-second round where you'll be able to gain a lot of focus. Now, this new game mode will also be the host of where you can get Khora's parts, as well as a new mod category coming to the game named Peculiar Mods, which will augment the experience in some form, with the example shown showcasing flowers sprouting from the corpse or body of an enemy once landing a critical hit. However, there will only be one that will launch with the update coming this week, so they can get a grasp on what type of augments they actually want to do and how they do it. Now, going back to Khora and the previous Damage 2.5 system, it was also stated that 2.5 has been completely thrown out the window, and there's nothing in development at the moment in regards to damage changes. However, Scott and the team did state that if they were to rework damage in the future, it will be a complete overhaul with a hammer instead of some minor tweaks with a scalpel, like the previous proposed 2.5 changes. Now, for those of you who have been asking for a bounty board on the plains of Eidolon, so you don't have to constantly wait for the loading doors of death to open and close to restart a bounty, well, Steve commented during the dev stream that they are working on points of control for the Venus landscape, where upon capturing said points, you can start new bounties, and hopefully that will be coming to the plains of Eidolon as well, but they did not state that. Now, we also received a gaze at a few concept models for the upcoming Moa companions. It is on your screen right now. You can think what you want there. Now, the scythes will also be joining the heavy blade category. However, this was only dabbled on, and based off of the feedback may not actually be the case, but it is looking that way. And finally, for those that care about Hydroid's Prime trailer at this point, Jeff mentioned that everything has been completed except for the Ballast speech, so you may see that out sometime this year and be able to watch it. Anyway, moving on from Devstream 109, we had Hotfix 22.17.2, which removed Ember Prime, Frost Prime, and Loki Prime, as well as everything else that they came with in the Prime Unvaulting from the drop table, so you can no longer farm for their relics in-game, as well as buy them from the Prime Vault webpage. We then had update 22.17.3, which brought 4 new augment mods, which was Mesa's Waltz, which makes Mesa move at 50% of the normal speed while using Peacemaker. There was also Equinox's Energy Transfer augment, which made it so 100% of the charge is conserved when switching between forms. There was also Ivara's Concentrated Arrow, which makes it so if her ultimate fires one single arrow, that upon hitting a headshot will have a 50% increase to critical chance, and will also make it so the bow explodes and any enemy within a 7-meter radius will be hit by the damage. And for the 4th augment, there was Nezha's Blazing Chakram augment, Reaping Chakram, which makes it so it flies through enemies and per enemy hit will multiply the damage and healing capabilities by 2. As for changes, they allowed us to use quick melee while spearfishing in the plains of Eidolon, as well as making some minor changes in there as well. We then had Hotfix 22.17.4, which removed unnecessary ragdoll from all of the Eidolon variants, optimized Helios's Investigator precept so it now finds targets 10 times faster, and improved the performance of a few laser beam effects. Now, there was only a few things to talk about outside of the dev stream, and that was Steve posting the start of their sacrifice script, as well as him stating on the stream as well as on Twitter that they have been doing table reads of the script to get it all ready. But yeah, that is it. Moving on to community fan art, we had this really cool concept art for a concept by another player on the forums, which is his idea for a new Grineer enemy. Moving on, we had Black Metal Crewman by The-Wintertroll on DeviantArt. Looks pretty nice. There was Patient Zero by Screaminbishop on DeviantArt as well. Mutalist Ayatan by Reymonstruo. Nidus by HikaruSoul. Corpus Beauty by HappyKasu. And moving on to the largest fucking image sizes on the internet, we have Lotus aka Spacemom from J. Rafael Gomez on Behance. We had Enjoy the Silence by Cris Hippolito. And for the last piece, we have a really cool Archwing piece by IndieK. Anyway, that is it for this week in Warframe. If you found the video informative, make sure to leave a like. If you think I can improve upon the series, or you just want anything changed, or to talk about anything that I talked about in the video, make sure to leave a comment in the comments section below. Also, if you missed out on last week's episode, you can click the annotation on the screen and it'll take you right to it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.